go straight to English. Like the time management. So SRC will go there and engage council so that the resolution is made. Two, second thing, what happened is that it's also very important to you, unfortunately, we are put into this discussion instead of hearing what we do to us. But it's also very important. I had an experience, I'm a member of that, because I'm sitting now with Kritiese with a good understanding, but there wasn't that understanding because the SRC was so up there and I was so down there. So if we keep engaging to avoid many things, we don't want a situation like what happened. Many students have a different perspective of that, so it's not entirely true. But through the engagement with the SRC member, such as Kritiese, we're able to understand each other. So I must say that for a last thing, Mr. Chair.
Can we quickly just have an answer on that idea?
I said I have three things, Mr. Chair. Last, unfortunately, we are in this block, but if you read the headline of the mighty, the female student was there. Yes. So Women's Day. Those are the things that concern us, not really critical idea, ethical leadership. We want what are you going to do for us. Unfortunately, we are conditioned in three concepts on what we must do when we have serious problems in this university.
I think one of the candidates will be. Nobody hasn't answered yet. Right, I think we can start.
Hi, okay. In terms of the language by 2015, I think we need to understand that Afrikaans is a language that is possessed both by coloured Afrikaans and white Afrikaans people in this country. It is a language that we need to take pride over. I'm English and okay. Well, I'm English and I have struggled learning Afrikaans at this university and I still have to learn more every day. But I think it's in terms of taking possession of the language and relearning how we look at it, and that it's not just an apartheid language, it's something that is a rich cultural part of this university. Stellenbosch has a rich history of Afrikaans. We come from a place where, how do I explain this? Within residences, within PSOs, around campus, people have pride in Afrikaans, and it is a place where throughout South Africa people can come and learn in their home language. In terms of that, I do think that the language policy needs to be more strictly enforced so that the 50-50 rules are implicated properly so that people coming here can both learn in English and Afrikaans, but we can also walk out of university knowing an extra skill, knowing an extra language. And that says quite a lot for us as university students.
Alina.
Hi everyone, my name is Alina Buddha. Sorry for only coming now. I had to rekening for accident tutorial that I had to make. So sorry. So unfortunately I didn't hear the whole question, but I'm going to take it from the back as I heard it. The third point you started with was safety, the third point you mentioned. Now, a huge problem with safety, I believe, is obviously it's complex because we're not a closed campus, and that makes it very complex because we have to work together, the SRC, the police, the East Media, everyone kind of has to get together and work together. And I think a big problem is that we don't actually know what's going on, the projects that are already thinking about and knowing, because the other day I was at the East Media talk and they said about, you can just give a please call me to East Media, and then I was in a Rector's bestuurspan RBS meeting, where they told about they're looking into getting more guards, etc. So there's not like a communication between the SRC and all the other bodies that's busy working with safety to kind of get to know what each and everyone is doing, and also get to the information out to the students. You know what, you can actually do this, you know what, they're actually planning on getting SOS booms in Victoria Street that you can just press a button, etc. So there is actually plans. The SRC obviously can play a big role in making sure that those plans are implemented more quickly and more efficiently and effectively. So yeah, so that's a big point. And like Erik Mudge was this year on the GPF, that's the Community Police Forum, and it was actually the first time ever that a student was head of that forum, and it's like the whole Stellenbosch community. So there's actually stuff happening. I just think the communication, obviously the buzzword always, communication can be much better, and the pressure from the SRC can be much better. May I go on to the other points as well? And then I heard you from Sasko. Hello. I probably met you. I was at the education rally earlier this year, and it was very interesting. Concerning the language policy, I'm not going to make as it is like a simple answer, because it's not. The language policy is complex. And as Russell Bootman or Rector said, many times this is an Afrikaans institution, but that doesn't mean we can exclude anybody that wants to study or that needs to study or to get a degree. So that's why it's per faculty is the taalbeleid to cater to the needs of that faculty, etc. So the language policy on paper isn't that bad. It's like practical, people that have the first 2 years in Afrikaans and instead from the third year they're just English, etc. Stuff like that. That needs to be looked at and worked on. But for me, and I'm probably going to lose your vote now, Stellenbosch University is an Afrikaans institution, but that doesn't mean someone or any money should be excluded. Okay, and unfortunately I didn't hear the rest, so I hope that answers
it.
Ek wil graag terugkom na die tema van leierskap en net vir julle vra. Ek het sterk twyfel in die evalueringssysteem wat tans in plek is vir die studenteraad. Ek wil by julle weet, julle maak nou beloftes en julle word in hierdie posisie ingestem op grond van daardie beloftes. Hoe wil julle as 'n toekomstige SR verantwoordbaar gehou word deur alle studente op kampus? Wat stel julle voor?
Ja, verantwoordbaarheid is baie belangrik. En ek dink die grootste of die beste manier om dit te doen is eerstens seker te maak dat kampus weet eintlik wat aangaan deur die jaar. Dat dit nie net iets is wat een keer per jaar gebeur nie en dat dit iets is wat kampus wat gebeur. Op hierdie stadium is dit die komitees net onder daai SR-lede wat hulle eintlik evalueer. Wat wel reg is want hulle verstaan waardeur daai persoon gegaan het en hulle kan hulle eintlik evalueer want hulle sien baie wat hulle doen. Maar ek glo dat dit kan amper op 'n gewigtestelsel gestel word waar jy kampus eintlik grond of weet dit nou nie dat gesê voedselvlak mense kry om opinies te gee en te lewer en dan ook die opinies van die kandidate en van die komitees.
Hallo, ek dink 'n goeie idee wat baie rondgegeef is in die afgelope paar dae was accountability forums. En ek weet 'n SR-persoon, Chepo, in 2009-2010 het accountability forums gestel. En toe nadat die SR verlaat het, het dit weggeval. En daar kon mense idees, complaints, suggestions, ideas, that you could bring it to the SRC and be like, this is what's happening on maybe a bi-weekly or a monthly basis. How are you going to be dealing with this? Because it's an imminent issue. So, yes. And then what they did was they came back to the SRC, to those accountability forums, and they would ask the SRC, did you deal with this? We need to have more evaluation, not just once a year in Dumati at the end of the year. We need to be able to not just have once a term through Parliament, but have something in between to say, okay, but you said in January that you're going to do this. Now it's February, have you dealt with it? Or has it had any progress so far?
Ek gaan nog een vat van die kandidaat af.
Right, mine's a very simple and quick idea. Most of us up here have Facebook pages that we've launched to get support and to get votes. Keep those Facebook pages. They don't just fall away once we've actually been elected onto the SRC. Keep the Facebook page. People can post on there, write suggestions, write complaints, write anything they want to. And in that way, you're constantly being evaluated and not just waiting, like Deel said, towards the end of the year.
Right, ons gaan vinnig nog 'n vraag van die gehoor af.
This is not actually a question, it's more comment based on the themes that have been set here, and I think one thing was critical thinking. However, I feel that the SRC represents the majority of students, and they need to discuss issues that are affecting students. These issues about ethical leadership and them being accountable are minor factors. There are other things that need to be addressed more strongly, like safety, financial aid, transportation, housing issues. Those are the things that we want you to address, and you have to represent. You must convince us why we should actually really vote for your representation.
Thank you for the question. I can't see you now.
everything like that, and nobody of us would ever disagree on that, and that's what we want to work on. Okay, but the problem with the function as the SRC at the moment is, as you know, like look at this, we SRC, and this is the most people we've seen at the Koukus. There's not that direct interest in the SRC firstly. People don't know what we're doing, okay? People don't see the SRC. People don't have enough actually faith in the SRC to actually be voting if you look at how little people vote, okay? So the issues we're getting at is getting accountability open, getting channels open, getting communication open. Because once I'm in the SRC, I'm not going to sit around and be on a corner and think critically about stuff. I'm going to be talking about housing, about safety. But what I want to be, okay, but for you to actually know how to keep me accountable, for you to know that I'm going to be accountable, for you to know what I think about being ethical in that position, that's why I'm standing here today. Okay, we get portfolios that's going to address those issues. But there's no use of me, and that's what's been happening. We've been sitting in meetings, or not we, the SRC's been sitting in meetings, talking about safety, talking about the issues that are actually affecting you, but there's no communication, no dialogue, no direct interest, and these are the issues that we want to address, so the SRC is more available to students on voetspoor vlak, as Marvin said. Thank you.
Hello, Wester. Sorry. I agree with you that you want to talk about stuff that's relevant to students, but we can't only once a year when it's SRC election time actually talk about those issues. And as other people have been saying that there should be platforms, but I don't even necessarily think we have to create more platforms, because in this year we had an SRC feedback session and there were 3 people, that guy being one of them, and all 3 questions was about swimming law. And so the point I'm trying to make is that we should rather try and use structures that's already there, like student parliament. Like, for example, I believe an idea can be that student parliament at the first student parliament of the new SRC set a priority list for the SRC for the year. Say, we want you guys to focus on this, 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 and this. Because you guys can't really, the SRC sits there for a weekend, think about the vision and mission for the year, and then go in the direction without really consulting students. So, like the priority list, and then throughout the year we can give feedback at every student parliament how the priorities are being looked at and worked on, etc. So we can actually use the structures that are already there and make like open communication through those structures.
Hi. For me, to be an ethical leader, you have to have those core values, and those core values will determine how you will handle any situation, whether it be safety or crime or anything on campus. So that's why it's important to choose the leader for who they are as a core person, rather than just the short-term gain that you can get from them. Thank you.
Na amper tyd is al laaste vraag vir die paneel af wil kry.
At the London School of Economics on the first Friday of the academic year, you struggle to find a seat in the library, all filled up with students working on academic work. In Stellenbosch, you can organize a one-day cricket match in the Niekerk library on the first Friday of the academic year. And the reason for that is that the campus is out having a party called Deel. Would you support the proposal to move Deel to the end of the academic year, so that when students arrive here, they do not focus on a 2-week or 3-week long party, but in fact focus on what they're coming here for?
Hi, my naam is Frans, ik kan van eerste bladzijde 3 in die krankie. Dit is eigenlijk een baie goeie voorstel, want klop mense, dit sluit my neef, jy kom staan bos wat ek wil Joel hê, en dan in Junie gaan ek weer terug, ek gaan werk ergens. Dit is 'n goeie voorstel, maar is ek om na toe te werk, jy kom nie net vir Joel nie. En hier is net so 'n blank. Ja, dit is 'n goeie idee, ons kan definitief aan kyk, soos al die verwelkoming is baie belangrik vir studente om mense te ontmoet en so te sien wat gaan aangegaan, maar die groot kuiers hou vir die einde van die jaar. Dis 'n goeie idee. En julle praat oor beloftes, ek kom nie in met klomp beloftes wat ek maak, want dit is vir my niks so erg soos sê beloftes, en dan kom jy nou weer uit nie. So ek gaan met 'n oop kop in, ek is bereid om te leer, en ek sien wat kan gedoen raak, dan kom klomp idees wat mens kan doen, en dan kan mens iets mee werk. Ja, my naam is Frans, dankie.
Wat denk jy, Anton?
Henry, goeiemôre eens. Okay, ek wil eers sê die Joel is definitief geherstruktureer en die tydtoedeling gaan natuurlik die verwelkomingsprogram met